I'm Shea.
And I'm Shealyn.
This is Shea Scareland, you creepy ass. Okay.
You
And today we're doing
expected
Urban Legend.
the
Was it 98?
1998.
98.
Yes,
Okay,
my
great.
favorite year. My
I
favorite year.
won it. Yeah, your favorite year.
One of my favorite years. And I enjoyed this. I saw it in the theater, like one of the first movies I saw by myself because I was 13.
Oh, you're a big
With
girl.
my friend. I went with my friends, but like not with parents because my mom was like, I ain't gonna go see that crap. But obviously I had seen Scream, so I was obsessed with these, 90s scary movies.
Yes.
And so this followed Scream, and I like it. It doesn't have the same I don't have the same affinity for it because I think like everyone in Scream, cast member wise, I want to like be friends with, or I wanted to be growing up. This cast, not so much the same for me.
Did you feel like recently you met David Arquette and Matthew Lillard and Jamie Kennedy? Did you feel that same feeling when you met them?
Yes, even though it's 26 years later, so they're a little older, as I am. I am not 12-year-old anymore.
A couple of those guys still looking good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, I was super bummed that Skeet Ulrich wasn't there. He
Greasy
had canceled.
Skeet. Yeah.
Yes, because he is, like I said, aging like fine wine and even better looking than he was in the movie. So I'll have to go to another horror convention to see him at some point. Not because I have any ulterior motives, just to see him, in real life, because they were lovely. All three of them were lovely. But as everything ties to Scream, according to me.
I know. I'm gonna make like a loop of like all the times that you have forced reference Scream.
This is not a forced reference. This has like a direct lineage from Scream.
Yes, I know, which is why I'm wearing the shirt.
Yes. So I'm not. Sometimes it's a stretch, but this is like a direct relation of, in the way that Scream, they are referencing horror movies and how to survive. This movie, they're referencing urban legends and how to survive. So yeah, you had seen it, I'm sure, right?
I don't think they reference how to survive. They just say that you're
but they know the ending.
Right.
So they're like, okay, this is what happens. Oh, like later on in the movie, he gets a call and he's like, oh, is this the one where you're the babysitter? I'm the babysitter and I have to go upstairs. And then he's like, no, it's the lady in the microwave dog and all this crap.
Which I never heard about that before, but okay.
I think of Gremlins because when she microwaves
right,
Gremlin,
I think of that. But I was like, there's an urban legend about a lady who microwaved her dog.
I know, that's weird. I mean, there's so many, I'm sure, that I'm not aware of, but
oh yeah.
Your boyfriend Freddy Krueger is in this, cameo as a teacher. Robert. Anyway, but yes, what do you want to like sum it up? I mean, I guess I kind of did.
Ahead. Or you kind of already did. I mean, you did.
Yeah. I didn't say like the main plot where it's like spoiler alert, the killer Brenda Bates, Atosta Norman Bates from Psycho, ends up being the killer because her fiance, love of her life, had been murdered in the urban legend where you flash the headlights. It's a gang initiation, actually. Right. But like, you see somebody, you're driving without your headlights, and the first person that flashes, you have to run off the road. So Natalie and Michelle. So Michelle was her friend in high school. They did this terrible prank. They ended up driving off the road and subsequently killing Rebecca Gayhart's love of her life at the time. So she has set up this elaborate, going to the same college and creating this whole thing
much.
To get
like
back
you're a bit on the psycho side because that's much.
I mean, it is, but like, I guess you really love this dude. I don't know.
In high school, high school. That's high school. Your high school boyfriend.
Isn't that when you think you're in love with somebody though? Like you're like, oh, I can't live without this person, and then you grow up and you're like, I can live without anybody. Like, but back then, when you have nothing else going on, you're like, oh my gosh, my world.
I guess whatever, but still, like to go with this elaborate. I'm gonna follow them to the
it's very crazy.
Earth.
Yes, no, definitely. And then at the end, we see her with the next group of, which I have a problem with those people. They're all like 35 and in like the worst 90s fashion. I don't know. I get really angry at the end scene, but she's clearly going to either do it again.
I love that she's like different person because they frizzed out her hair.
Yeah.
And I was like,
they
oh,
were
she's
worried
different
about
because
that.
they straightened it. And I was like, they frizzed it. This is what they did. They frizzed the shit out of her hair.
Back in the day, you know, I used to straighten my hair a lot because I actually do have curly hair too, even though you can't tell now it's so short. But I used to do that. Like, you go through all this trouble to straighten your hair, and then like, why not just wear it curly? Like, curly hair rules. But
I love her hair.
I
love her hair.
Well, but they straightened it throughout whenever she would play the killer because they were worried people would see like her fro a little bit and know that she was.
Well, she wasn't even the killer. Like, she was someone. There was a dude in the killer like outfit.
No, that's her.
No, it's not.
Yes.
No, I thought I read that it was her. No,
I'm pretty sure it's her. The whole thing.
Sure
I thought that as
look
well.
This up because he's bigger. He's bigger.
Well,
so, like,
I was trying to think how
it's supposed to be her, but I don't think it was.
That's what I mean.
Her in like the actuality of it.
But it's supposed to be her. Yes, I know it's not her. How is she going to lift up grown men and everything else? I'm aware, but it's the magic of a movie, okay? But like, it's supposed to be her. She's the one. Which also, like, that's way too much work for one person. Like, you would have needed a partner in this at some point.
Exactly. Especially during the Joshua Jackson scene. That would take more than one person. Come on now.
There's so much, like, throughout the film, I'm trying to figure out how this could have been pulled off, and I'm like, this is baloney.
No way. It's a movie. I just suspend your reality and you go, okay, this little pint-sized $1.25.
Yeah, she's probably
girl can totally do this. Sure.
You never know. That's why you should fear women, is what it's saying.
So I love the little Easter egg nods that they do throughout the like entire movie. The little like I'm sitting there with Maddie watching it, and I'm totally enjoying all the 90s-ness of it. And Maddie's like, the Joshua Jackson turns on the radio, and it's like, what's her name? The Dawson's Creek song. He's like, oh, turn it off. And you know, I laugh, and Maddie's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, because Maddie is 18. Of course, she doesn't get it.
And I was like, explain. I have to explain it. I was like, never mind. Go to your room. Let me enjoy this by myself.
Yeah,
so that, or then the end when they're like, oh, so you're going to tell me the killer was an Noxzema girl? Yes. Yeah. And I think that's adorable because she was an Noxzema girl. Yeah. I think those things
are
adorable.
Things like that. They are cute. It's all the things like, because I don't even think Maddie, who was your daughter, who's on a previous episode, she probably doesn't even know about the whole Pop Rocks and soda. Like, I don't know how big urban legends are now. I remember growing up, they were like the thing you wanted to. I mean, I read about them on the internet, and I'm sure kids could now as well. But they were like more of a popularized thing that we knew.
Yeah, I think in the 90s, things like that were we all told ghost stories essentially. Yeah. And so it was like, oh, did you hear the one about this or the one about that? And now they just have their fucking smartphones and everything. And so these young people don't know anything.
I mean, they can make like TikToks about the stories and then people would know, but because they're all supposed to be true stories. Like, that's the beauty of the urban legend, is it's supposed to be someone you know. Not directly.
Somebody's
somebody
friend,
you know
somebody's
through
cousin.
Somebody. Yeah, and that way you're like, oh my gosh, it really happened. And it's usually warning you, something had to not be like a hoe.
The whole
or
thing
something.
About the urban legend, the person sitting in the back seat when you get, I totally check my car, like all the time.
No, me too. Well, that you should do anyway, but like that scene is so good when, the guy who owns the gas station or is working at the gas station has that stutter and he can't get out the line. So he's trying to tell her, and I know like that's how I would react too. You think that guy's trying to kill you.
I wouldn't react like that. Obviously, with my cop story.
Why couldn't he should have. If he was smart, he would have written it down if he knew he had a stutter, and then he shows her. Or just like forced her. I mean, she turns into this crazy badass. All of a sudden, she's like breaking the window, jumping out.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, ends up with her head chopped off in an expedition, because I guess that was the only kind of car big enough to swing an axe.
Well, they were going to use like a Land Rover, but then they were like, that's too expensive. We can't.
I was going to say, like, that would be a great college kid car. Like, who has a Land Rover in college? Maybe not so
Also,
much. I drove a Kia.
the guy with the stutter, the gas attendant. First of all, she was kind of a bitch.
Yep.
Let's be honest. I was like, you're gonna
Yes.
die now just for being a bitch. But
Well, she was always a bitch. Even in high school, she was a bitch.
Clearly. He, the dude with the stutter, that is Chucky.
Yes, the voice of Charles Lee Ray. And
Well,
somebody
he's
else.
in it at the very beginning, and then he goes into Chucky.
He is Charles Lee Ray.
He is Charles Lee Ray, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He rules. I would have trusted him. Maybe.
Right?
I don't know. He got kind of handsy. I don't know.
Me knowing me, I'm very like, what are you trying to say? Like, I would have gotten murdered right away, but not from running away from him, but more like he would have murdered me, and I've been like, what's going on? They hung up the phone.
Huh?
I know.
Later,
I don't understand.
Later, though, they reference, like, you know, when Tara Reid's talking about that girl getting killed, and she's like, oh, apparently she was listening to my show. How would they have known that unless Rebecca Gayheart started that rumor because she was the killer?
Because she was there, you know? And she was listening to the show too.
Yeah, like I was like, what? Yeah.
Or maybe she just thinks everyone is listening to her show.
Yeah, that could be it, because it was that time. Yeah, it was like during the time that she was doing it. So maybe I don't know.
She must have been listening. Like, I assume everyone listens to our show, but you know,
she's super cute in this movie, Tara Reid. And then, later, I mean, she has a great like kill scene too, pretty extreme. But before she gets killed, I like when they mention the other urban legend. Yeah, the Love Roller Coaster song, because I remember hearing that growing up too. That scream is an actual murder cry on a 911 call. What is it? Oh, Love Roller Coaster by the Ohio Players. I always heard that too, and the band perpetuated that rumor, but it's just a rumor. It's not a real scream. But that song is in one of my favorite death scenes ever, Final Destination 3, the girls in the tanning beds. They're listening to that CD because they like forget their music or something.
Okay, this is why.
I used to love tanning. Tanning is like amazing. You get all the vitamin, D, A, everything. I don't know. I loved it, but it's so bad for you. Like literally so bad.
Yeah, don't do it. And also in it, we've got Jared Leto, Mr. Jared Leto back there.
I think I also am not that into him in this movie. You know, he's gorgeous, but ever since
he acts like a dick. It's fine. But he also now
he was a dick in my so-called life too.
Dick and everything. We also have Joshua Jackson, which we mentioned from Dawson's Creek. Pacey, which he had his hair dyed blonde for Cruel Intentions, and then he just left it for this movie. He was like, "I'll just leave it in," like, because then he would have to dye it again because he was filming both at the same time.
Oh, got it. I love that movie too.
I'll just leave it in. And then Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh yeah. He's behind me in the poster.
Yeah, he's at the bottom. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! There's your new crush, Kevin.
I know. I've got a list, like a whole list of them here.
Of all people, you like that guy?
I do. Have you seen him in Smallville? He's hot.
No, I've never seen Smallville.
I've got a thing for bald men. I don't know.
This movie, they made $72.5 million in the box office. They could directly thank Scream for that, by the way.
No, yes, we can. Yeah, absolutely.
What else you got in there?
Oh, also Danielle Harris, who plays Tosh, is the gothic crazy girl.
I love it. That was me. That was me.
A couple things on that one I thought was hilarious. First of all, she was very excited because she got to smoke on set.
Yeah.
Because she was smoking at the time, and she's like, "Oh, I can smoke on set," and they were like, "Hey, keep going." And so then she had to smoke like chain smoke after, so she quit after this movie because she got so sick.
I'm surprised they let her use real cigarettes, because normally you're using herbal cigarettes, and I've had to smoke those on set, and they're like the worst. They burn really fast. So you're like, you know, chain smoking, it doesn't work out. So if she was
she was using real cigarettes and got sick because the director made her take after take after take, and she's like,
I think they said the same thing with the Pop Rocks, that she got sick from just having to eat so many. Also, she puts like the whole bag in her mouth. I mean,
how many bags did they go through?
I don't I was trying to watch if she was like actually ripping it, or if like it was, and I think it was already ripped, because when he tosses it to her, I swear I saw some Pop Rocks come out. But and then she fake rips it.
I love that you're
or
like
rips it
that
again.
close. You're just
Yeah.
like, I
I am
see.
attention to detail. Not that I care, it doesn't affect the way I like the movie. I find things all the time that I'm like, that's stupid, you know, the license plate's wrong, you know, or something.
But back to Daniel Harris, sorry, who plays Tasha.
Yeah.
Is the young girl from Halloween. In I think Halloween 5 or whatever. 4. Halloween 4, Halloween 5.
She's also in 5 though. I think in a throwback scene. But
in the very beginning, yeah.
Yeah, no, I like her. She does all the horror cons. She seems super awesome.
She's adorable.
She has a podcast.
She's so cute.
She has like a sexy horror podcast.
Ooh, I have to check it out.
Yeah.
What's it called? Do you even know?
It's like it's a funny term, like to talk scary to me, and it's like talk dirty to me.
Hold on, let's find out.
That's what it's called.
I'm gonna double check.
Why you don't believe me?
Confirm.
It's on the Instagram.
It's on the Instagram. How old?
That's where 50? I've seen. Yeah, getting there. But I like her story. So she did hers is, you know, in the blood, Archbody didn't turn on the light, which is based on the urban legend with the people can lick too, which always freaked me out. Do you remember that story? Where like for comfort, like I don't know the whole story, but the guy keeps hearing noises or something, but for comfort, he puts his hand down and his dog would lick his fingers. So in the morning he wakes up to it and it says people can lick too. And it was the murderer. It's just so gross. Something like that. And I'm like, I always think about that now because I'm already one who thinks there's like
you would
monsters
think that you would notice the difference between your dog's tongue and your random.
It was like humans can lick too. So gross. The fictional Pendleton University motto shown only in what does it say? Oh, okay, I gotta say it again. The fictional Pendleton University slogan is shown and it's only in Latin, but I believe it translates to the best friend did it. So if you can speak Latin,
I think I read that right. You can speak Latin,
which you know I think some kids used to learn. Then you would know that from the beginning that it was going to be Rebecca Gayheart. But the iconic PowerPoint presentation that she gives to show where she's explaining why she is the murderer.
Who does that? Who goes, I have a full-on PowerPoints on the wall.
It's very relevant at the time. I remember making a lot of PowerPoints in school. And I was like,
who has the time for this? Like, let me explain my entire backstory.
Well, so 2 years had passed, right, since he had died or something. So she had a little time, but like, damn, in the process, she had to like get accepted to this college, befriend all these people. Like, it was very, very intense planning for those years.
Yes, for sure.
Pull this off. Okay, so axes.
How many axes you give it?
You know, it's hard for me to judge these nostalgic ones because, you know, they have such a special place. But this one, not as much for me. So I'm going to say 3.5. 3.5.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know what's for axes.
Axes. Axi? Did you say axi?
I was hoping it had a cooler plural to it.
It
like
does
axi.
not. Axes.
Okay,
It's axes. It does sound weird to say it.
Yeah.
I give it 3. I give it 3 out of 5.
Okay.
3 out of 5. Because I mean, nostalgia. I mean, I think people from our generation who grew up in the 90s would definitely find them very nostalgic with all the little Easter eggs and all the little like nods that it gives, especially if you liked scary movies growing up. Then you're like, yeah, you know, and I don't think Maddie's generation.
Yeah, it doesn't hold as well. Like it doesn't carry over. I don't think. Right.
So I think for like us, we would give it more than like other younger generations who don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Until next time, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, like, subscribe, share. I like that you dance like it's musical that I'm saying this. You're just like, yeah, whatever. Leave us a comment. We got some comments on our thing. Apparently Eddie Vedder has commented on our past couple of episodes on YouTube.
Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, obviously it's not a real name, but
I was like, whoa, Pearl Jam?
I know. We are really cool. I told you everyone's listening.
Oh, got it. Yeah. Especially Pearl Jam.
Okay.
All right.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, wait. Oh, no.
What are you doing?
Until next time, follow us on your spiel.
Oh, do you know it? Go ahead.
No.
Oh,
It's yours.
thank you.
It's yours.